Saturn talks about, it says, Saturn, where you learn to operate within the limitations of society, responsibilities and rules, fears, obstruction, and limitations. Father energy and the teacher. So this is a whole society thing. So this is, and then on the other one it's like, as a society, like we're all supposed to function a certain way. I've spoken about this in, I don't know if English videos, but in Spanish ones, how we all ran to get how we run for the flu shot without questioning what we're putting exactly in our body. Mm, why did they legalize weed? Could we really trust what we're consuming? It's, I think everything that's done is benefits the government. It doesn't really benefit the people. It makes the rich richer and the poor keeps them in a level. And most people that are in that level, they're smart. It's only a few that get that opportunity to create something big and you know and we don't know what you know resources or what helped. Are we do we control everything, all the choices we make? you know like, if everything happens for a reason, how they say. But like, for example, all that stuff you hear about gang stalking, all the stuff you hear about people. um I had somebody go and make up a lie on my job. I lost my job because of it. It's related to because of what I do. People don't want me speaking. I switched from TikTok to YouTube, and the reason is because when I first started, I'm getting back into this type of readings overnight. Like, never bought followers. People started following me, a lot of engagement. And when somebody realized that and put attention to what I was channeling, what I was putting out there, I started getting death threats. My life was turned upside down. Found cameras inside my apartment. I lost everything. And it felt, I always been a really outgoing, no matter what I did, like I kept myself motivated. I did everything that a successful person does to get a job, to, to at least even get a job. And it was just like impossible. It felt like my phone was not receiving calls. Like, I would be trying to get a phone just to call to make sure like I was still receiving calls, and it just no contact with nobody. And any contact that I had was a guy that was disrespectful, that wanted to make me feel like it would be really nice at first, and then something that I, you know, experienced, but not to that extreme in my past. And never like that's all that was there. Like, they really wanted me to feel like I had no value and no worth, to completely destroy me so I can destroy myself. So all these cases, because I see right here like a lot of different cases. So it must be like since I'm barely starting, there's no actual collective yet. So that's probably why it's bringing so many different stories, so much information, and nothing seems like a pattern. What I am getting, it's something to do with the some a lot of these people learn their behavior from their parents, their fathers. It said father energy because their teacher, they learned this from them. And which, like I said, that wasn't even supposed to be in there. But I feel like it's an important message because, like, it talked about organizations, DNA, nonprofits, sacrifices, things making them look like they're one thing, but there were sacrifices. Um, and if you get somebody to murder somebody and they have to go to jail, you sacrifice that person basically. To commit an act that, especially if it's somebody that normally didn't behave that way. Like you always hear, like, oh my God, he was so nice. I would never imagine him doing something like that. transferring dark energies, that's real. That's a real thing. Um, and we're always, I'm not saying that it has nothing against homeless at all, but we had to learn how to read the energy in the room, the people around us, the environment. For example, where I live way at the end. There's I recognize energies that come in, smells. People that are not human, that are like hunting people like us. um, they have a smell like sewer. And I notice because there's certain times with that energy, I don't feel it at all, and you can't smell sewer at all around here. And there's days where that smells like so fucking horrible. They sorry, I don't even know if I can cuss. And there's somebody else that it's somebody that's awakened, aware, has can feel energy. A lot of people don't speak much about it because they're afraid of what people are going to think. Most of people like that were born into families that don't support us in what we're experiencing, or they want to compete. They want those gifts for themselves, so they block them. But they want you to pay the karma. You have to do the hard work. They just want to collect the benefits from it, because everything, all you can't go teach without having the experience, and this is earth life, so you get the experience by life, by experiencing it. That's why a lot of you guys that are very well aware and alert, you guys have master numbers in your chart, your birth chart, because you master that. You've done that so many times in previous lives. You might have a life path number 22, 33, 11. I think 11s are like the wild teenage child. They have this ability to manifest, and because they can do that, they sometimes turn dark. I met most 11s that I have met. A lot of them participate with cults and stuff like that. They'll sell you for money. Because they always manifest everything so easy, and nobody teaches them. Somebody running away. Secrets. Somebody wants to get away because they don't want these secrets to come out. Fake dead. Somebody might plan their fake dead. Pretend this is a serial killer. The mountains. So this person could be there already. Social media was upside down. I think I read this before on TikTok. This serial killer was, the energy I got was somebody with a lot of money. He would actually go to the mountains, and they would take actual women or young kids that they would meet on the dating apps, especially the one on Facebook. These young guys go and pray for young girls, take them on dates supposedly, drug them. Eventually they end up in this place where the serial killer would run around and hunt them like if they were deer. And they would keep them in hotels, drug them up until they couldn't function without, keep them locked up somewhere. This is not a very fancy motel. If you look at it, it looks like it's all full of desert and like something that's not even in business. Like something that was just left there and homeless people started staying in it. Yeah, this is something where they make money. Love. We're not talking about love, so I'm taking it like making love. Sex. Trafficking. Revenge. Revenge, and look, life insurance. This was a revenge thing for life insurance. Somebody had the opportunity to do that. Your power supply. Okay. This is not going to be for everybody. So if you're the type of person that attracts a lot of males, it doesn't matter what your sexual orientation is, but you attract a lot of males and they want to right away be intimate with you, disrespectfully, not even take you out to eat or anything. Like, if kind of give you the, like, so there was somebody that would promote you of the benefits that they get when they would treat you a certain way, make you feel a certain way, and then have sex with you. Because you're a power supply. Most likely, you have Scorpio somewhere in your chart, or you're a Scorpio, because that's our main healing. But what these people didn't know, when you weren't awakened, that would work. Now that you're awake and you're aware, even if you have sex with these people, they can't get much. Not what they used to. Because your intuition, even if you had a rough time and you broke the rules and you know, we're human. We're only human. Or you wanted to do it because you want. Spiritual people have a normal sex life. They hook up, they do stuff like that. They don't do it as often as regular people because we understand the consequences of that. It's just disgusting. It's heavy. It's headaches and filth. You shower and the water comes out black, especially if you end up sleeping with somebody like from these energies. So the thing is, once you're aware, you understand how to use your energy, and you can actually obtain. They have to. So that's why when you do the readings, the guy that was your hitman or whatever, he's your soulmate also. People that are not connected spiritually, if they're not part of your tribe, connected in some kind, coming from the same energy and vibration that you come from, they cannot come and have sex with you when you're awake. You would smell them. It would gross you out. Your stomach wouldn't be able to handle their presence. Like you wouldn't be able to really have a attraction to them. You would see any little detail. Once you're awakened, your connections are so different. It's so spiritual, so it's not a physical thing really. You feel their energy before you even meet them. You feel their presence before you even find out who they are in whatever location, complex, or shopping mall that you're going to meet them. Happy. Communication. What is this communication? Here's another one. Spiritual message. Happy spiritual message, communication, education. Some of you guys might get something, you're going to learn something new. You're going to look into something and study, or something's going to make sense. It's going to free you from something, whatever we're talking right here. It might help you with something. It's going to free you from something that you might have never considered that idea. And karma. Yeah. Something's going to make sense. Love. So it's good karma. It's freedom karma. You're going to free yourself of bad karmatic relationships, and you're going to get the good karma love. Because you're free. Something with all this is going to make sense, and it's going to help you free yourself from something that you weren't understanding. Maybe something's going to make sense. Maybe you were feeling guilty because you had the urge to connect. Or maybe something's going to make sense why certain people gross you out. Maybe why your husband all of a sudden started grossing you out after you woke up. So that's the reason, because they don't carry the same energy we do. So they have to use these people that are like, they're supposed to be here to help us in the journey. That's why when you see the stories, most of them are still stuck over there way behind or in prison. Because they use them. Everybody wants money. Everybody wants a car. Right here, the joke with these guys, they think I'm naive and stupid. You're not going to confront them and tell them anything. But you tell them in their face and they still think you have no clue what they're doing. No job, no nothing. Bums, completely. Always have money. I'm over here updating my resume like crazy, doing all this stuff, applying like at 300 different places. No callbacks, no nothing. And these men come up with young men, nice brand new cars, and it's like, whose dick are you sucking? Like, girls, you don't see that situation with girls that are, working hard. Yeah, maybe some other girls, but girls that are, like trying to get a job, like nobody comes and gives them a car. And these guys get cars for free. People want to help them like that. Like, and what are you doing that is productive for society? Oh, because you got out of prison? Like, was that a getting out of prison gift? These churches, they recruit these people. I heard so many different stories, and it's like I'm gonna write a book for those. There's a lot of different things I can. You would think that my mind's overthinking, my mind's being crazy. I'm being crazy, and you're not. The system is as corrupted as you can imagine. I have the energy of my energy's truth. So when people, that's why people start, they as much as they like hanging out with me or vibing with me, they can't, because I attract people that need to heal. Because that's my job. I help people heal. I understand them. I don't judge them. I can guide them. I can make them see things different and get answers that helps them in their journey. I try not to do coaching videos. That's why I stick to this, because every coaching session is different. Everybody's trauma is different. I'm not gonna give you the same recipe that I gave somebody that their trauma was a whole, their father left them, and your trauma was your mother left them. One was abused, a male and a female, they were abused as a child. The guidance is gonna be different. The impact is hard, it's painful, it's the same, but it's a different type of result. Every mind is different. We're all different. We're all wired different. It makes sense now why my life was like, I felt like I had, well, my mom used to say the Bible. So I was a sinner. So I always felt God was always punishing me because of all my experiences. But when I think about it, it was like, and I was never left in those experiences for long. And I always learned, and I came out something inside me would tell me, like, I knew I had to experience that because it was going to be important for my future. When I started my journey, like, it all made sense, because when I started like understanding, like, the random people that would come in my path and tell me their darkest secrets, and I don't even know, that started really, really young. Really, I was like a child. And it messages would come out that I had no idea if you would ask me. I knew I gave him some good, advice, but I couldn't put it back together in like a regular conversation, explain to somebody. And I still have a hard time. That's like with the coaching and the readings. If there's not a lot of collective connecting, it's really hard because you're pulling energy from people that are just going to be guided to watch the video because there's something in there. I do believe in that the universe takes us to where we have to hear something, because sometimes I'll be like, these stories, the same thing, I'm over that. But I still listen because I'm like, there's probably a clue or something in there that's especially if it's really random or somebody that that it's different. There's this one girl, I love her, the way she reads, and I'm like, I probably sound like that. I sound different in Spanish than English because I've been doing this for 5 years in Spanish. So I just recently started in YouTube in English, and I'm going to try to keep it bilingual because, believe it or not, the messages sometimes are different. And she just takes forever sometimes to give you like the point of, the message. And sometimes I end up more confused, but her energy and the way she reads, like, it's so peaceful and so healing. Except when it gets to that point, because I am dealing with something and I want answers from her, because she does give really good answers. She's one of, like, somebody that I call her like one of my guides, like somebody that you trust their energy to connect with your intuition, even though we have never spoken or never even had any interaction besides me with her account. I don't like every video either. When you do this type of work, you can get too many readings or be listening to too many readings. It gets your energy stuck, or you pull other energy and it gets a little wag. Yeah, so you have to be careful with that. That's why it's the giving and receiving. You like the video because I gave you a message and I receive a like from you. You see, it's the giving and receiving energy. So that's connecting the energy, because everybody knows that that's how social media works. You know, people start making money when people start engaging. So that's why I try not to, because if I could, I would love everybody's stuff. But I know that because my energy is like that, I'm going to be hooked with that energy, and I'm going to pull stuff in my energy that I'm not ready for. And we also got to be careful when we're hearing positive things and we kind of don't want, like, we don't want to listen to it. That's not good. The reason is because there's some kind of energy that's trying to keep us low vibration. The more positive things we listen to, the better it is. But also, it's like, let's be realistic where we're at in our life. I'm going to try to figure out a system to kind of label my readings so people know if it's something that they want to pull. Because anything we listen to, anything we interact with, we pull that energy into our lives. Something from that energy is going to tap into our energy, and it's going to either make something ascend faster, block us from something, bring on unnecessary drama, unnecessary people, because you're asking the universe for that experience. So also with children, something to do with children, learning, and anger, learning, and children. Some of your children learn, some of you guys, your children's behavior right now, it's really ugly. There's no respect. They need a lot of guidance, and the universe is going to help you with that. The reason is that person that was really angry and jealous of you was probably your kid's father or an ex-partner or somebody that was really in your family that would talk really ugly about you and would reflect all that anger that they had towards you, or would speak ugly about you, and your children learned all that. Many of you guys, your own children have done the arrangements for the whole life insurance thing. Brothers, family members, they're the ones that have done this. Your partners, ex-partners. You have no clue. Today, actually, I was going to get a friend of mine's it's a Christian recruiting insurance, life insurance company. They're brokers or something like that. Financial advisors. We're gonna do a Zoom call. As soon as that Zoom call connected, and this guy, it's vibing, like he's like all energetic. My head started hurting. Why do they want to do these Zoom calls? Why do they want to have you in person? Why do they want to? Because they feed off you. They're energy vampires. So their energy being so hyped up drains you. Because first of all, you're not going to make the money that they're promising you. You're going to end up putting so many hours, invest all this time, and they're going to be making the money. But you're going to be chasing for a while. In the meantime, they have all your information. They have access to you, where you're at, everything. All they need is your ID and your social thing to get a life insurance under your name. Look at all these jobs. The first thing they do now is give you a life insurance. First day of work. Little meeting and life insurance paperwork. Not all of us lose a job or go out from one job and go and apply for unemployment where they would be able to verify if we're out of that job. A job could have you saying that you're working with them forever. Not everybody gets assistance from the government. How many times does the IRS really catch all the jobs you have worked? I know I have worked jobs, that it was a time when I was young, when I worked too many jobs that I didn't report all of them and I never heard from them. Because I couldn't even remember where I could get the W-2 or what jobs that I worked. Or it wasn't even enough money to go chase a W-2, like stuff like that. And you never hear anything about it. Then one day you're looking, like right now I was looking at, I don't even know what, somehow my record came out. And there's a pool place that I worked at in like 2 hours from here. Never have. It's like we have to be on top of it to know that we're okay. But when we're dealing with them blocking us, energetically draining us, are we gonna have the time to think how is our credit? If anybody's using our social, it's not gonna be called to our attention if we're not told anything. It's not preventing us from something. And I remember I said a lot of agencies, organizations work together, because that pool place, if I was getting access or food stamps at the time, if I wasn't working, I must have been getting something. They never mentioned anything about me working anywhere. And I think access is something that I have always been able to qualify for the kids. So, and it was never mentioned. I just recently found that this is a few years back, and there was another few jobs that I have to review to see if I even worked there, because they didn't sound familiar. It's the more they keep us on a low vibration, the more they keep us disconnecting from people. Being alone is good. Being alone all the time, not having any human contacts. We're humans. We need hugs. We need kisses. We need affection. And not in a way of neediness because you're afraid to be alone. It's healthy. You're supposed to be able to have a partner and give each other space when you're ready, when you heal, when you're ready to go in that journey. And everybody's gonna have issues. The universe is not gonna bring you that rich, wealthy man with no issues. We're put in people's lives for a reason. Some people are smarter than others. Some people, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but some people are more awakened. It's just they have no clarity of what they're understanding, feeling, experiencing, channeling. And we all have different ways of explaining our gifts, or different ways of using our gifts that we can help different type of people. I had a brother that my mom would explain something to him and he would never understand her. Like, it made no sense what she was be saying to her in the same language that I would explain it to him. Same thing, but different words. Not much of a difference, but he would understand. But it's the tone of voice, the connection, the energy. Okay, that's all she had to say. And yeah, well, that's exactly what she was telling you. But it's the way the empathy, the way you bring something, the way you express something. Like, my way might be frustrating for some people because I stutter or my accent is too thick, It's not gonna be for everybody. Some people might like it. Some people might feel comfortable with it. I remember when I first started, I had a lady tell me that she hadn't been able to sleep in 2 weeks. And she found my video and she played it over and over, and she's had the best sleep she's ever had in 2 weeks. And that was her routine, to hear me to sleep. I was like, well, thank you, universe, for not making me a singer, because those concerts would have been horrible. And she wasn't the only one. There was a few people that would tell me at a certain moment, depending on how your energy is balanced, that's why they always attack your throat chakra, especially if you're a speaker, especially if you have a message, because it's gonna change your your vocals. Um, there's some videos that I hear myself and I'm like, oh my God, I could be a singer, like perfect voice, so pretty. And there's some that I'm like, ugh. And there's times where I speak English really well, and there's times where I'm like, oh my God, like what the hell am I? I can't even say any words. But it's the things we do to push ourselves, because nobody's gonna have power over us. And once we start learning that and enforcing it and putting power to it, they no longer can do what they've been doing. Somebody once told me everything has an expiration date. And it's true. They can only do so much. Because the more you ascend, the more your energy lifts, the sooner their karma comes to them. And it doesn't skip. So they use these people because the karma falls with those people. But the more you ascend, it hits those people plus them, it gets them. And they know that. They're aware of this. It gets the main person from the main corporation, the person is collecting all the money and sending all these stupid people. That's what it is. Because no life should be worth any money. We're humans. We have families. There's no price for that. There shouldn't be no price for that. But people kill for $10. We had here in Tucson somebody that killed probably should block that. They killed a taxi driver for $10. They robbed him for $10. Had pregnant girlfriend. $10. That's working late so he can. They had a baby on the way and they were struggling financially. They had just moved to a place and she couldn't work. I think they had put her in bed rest or something like that. And going to work those extra hours cost him his life. It's like, that's why sometimes this journey is going to teach you how to be humble, how to adjust really well. The sooner you adjust, the more grateful you are, you will have what you want. But I can guarantee you it's going to change. I always wanted a big house with my journey for all my family to go. My journey changed me. Left me with no family. The mask came off. The betrayals were shown. The proof came out. That's the worst. So now it's like, what would I do with a big old house? If they were to gift me a big house, I would turn into like a shelter and not, like something to help, either single moms or young teenagers, or there's a lot of helps and shelters like that here for men that get out of prison, I think, because I think they make them pay some kind of. So that wouldn't be my go-to. I think I would be more for women, to make sure women are safe in a place to stay, because that's what they're doing, pushing the woman to be with no money, no family, nowhere to go. Where do they end up? Under the bridge, where all the drugs, where everything. People are like, oh, why do people use drugs? You would too, if you would not be able to have a place to sleep, shower, eat. Like, it's sometimes we ask really dumb questions. Life is not always easy for everybody, so we cannot judge what people do. It's when they have everything and they are still doing stuff that it's like, what hurts you that bad? What broke you? What's so painful that you still need to numb yourself? Because that's what it is, numbing. So it's like we can't just judge. It's like understanding. And what could be so painful for somebody might not be painful for us, because we've gone through worser things. It's having empathy and understanding people. When we do that, makes this world better, because we don't judge. We don't remind them that God's going to punish them, because God doesn't punish. The universe doesn't punish. It's the choices we make, the experience we decide to live. But the moment you ask and call to get you out of that situation, it gets you out. It doesn't when you don't have faith. If you're asking for help, that's it. You ask for help and that's it, because you have faith and you know that you're going to be rescued. I don't go to church. I don't believe in God. I believe in the universe, and the whole God thing is because of there's too many gods. And the God that the Bible presents, I don't like him because he's mean and kind of narcissistic. Like, he wants people to get on their knees. That's not a humble God. Like, a God that talks about peace and love one another, like, why would he want people to worship the ground that he walks on? That's just, he would be humble. He wouldn't have those expectations. So that's, that's my whole personal view on that. But the universe, that's the universe. That's the whole thing, because it takes care of everybody. It wraps us up with the wind, with the sun, protects us when we need to, Mother Earth. That's what I call on. And my father. I never met my father, so I do have my daddy issues. So I do have my father. That it's like God, but it's the image that I created of my father. That's why I call him Father. God for me, which would be God for many of you guys. It's because my father wouldn't throw me out to the wolves and let me drown. He would understand that I'm growing and I'm a teenager and I want to experience life, and he's going to give me the best advice he can. Putting people, because since he can't get down, he's going to send people or messages or remind us that they're kidnapping young girls and, stuff like that. If I choose to ignore it and be ignorant, that's on me. Because maybe I want to experience something that's going to make me not want to be irresponsible. Because maybe that experience is going to help me help somebody else later down the road. Or maybe more than one person. I've been through a lot. Been there, done that kind of deal. And that's why my view on life and the way I see things, it's... A lot of people might not agree, but I'm not being disrespectful. It's, I grew up being told God was always punishing me. So when it came to me being able to choose my religion, me being able to choose how I'm going to connect, not worshiping anything, not calling on God to go punish my enemies, destroy them, kill their children. No. I just, and these people that call up on God, that's what they do. The people that are doing the black magic, they're the ones that go to church. They're the ones at the end you find out they were the ones doing work on you all this whole time. The thing is, the truth's always being told to us. But this world is loud and busy. We don't listen. We don't put attention. And I always been that type that sits back and listens to the little noise, to people's conversations. I'm engaging, but I'm listening. I'm never rude. I never tell them, oh, no, you told me this way the last time. Or ask too many questions about something that kind of gives me red flags. But then later down the road, something connects with another thing. I don't go and put them on blast either. But I'm aware of something's odd. I have stories for days. And I think that's what has kept me safe and alive, because I feel like it's a miracle I'm here. My story, my journey, I already went through all this. All this, I already have answers. This is similar but not the same kind of deal, but I went through a lot of stuff. That's why when I read, sometimes I do pull back a little, because it's like, oh wait, am I pulling energy that's not... Am I pulling my energy? Because a lot of stuff starts feeling like brings back memories. But just like certain details about it. But it's like this, how do they call it? It's the same devil, different face, different body. It's let me tell you something. How many people probably go out of this world and never know because they're not aware and awake. They trust too much that their own family was killing them little by little to collect their insurance money to stay with their stuff. How do people get rich? Why do poor people stay poor? Because they're humble and they're not poor people that don't steal and live a normal little life. And I'm not saying poor because it could be average. That are not over there. There's people that don't know how to be happy if they don't have money to go to McDonald's or to go to a fast food restaurant to go out and eat. And I know people that will go upon their TV just to go out and eat. It's like, damn, where's your... And never go back and pick it up and just buy another one. It's like, I understand you got to treat yourself, but you got to be smarter with your money. And those are the same people that I know that they had insurance situations and with their family members. They were the link to encourage my family. Another thing, because I'm sure karmics people, we're all humans. We all get tempted. Think about if you get involved with somebody that's getting you to help you do something like that for somebody that's their family, convinces you to do the same with them. What makes you think that once they get rid of that person, the money runs out? You become a liability because you know too much. What makes you think that you're not the next person? Think about it that way. Person that's capable of doing something like that, they won't think twice. These people will even do that with their own children. Or they become foster parents. You gotta be smarter. Think smarter. And I hear people, what they do. Don't judge. But I know my limits and how much access I will allow them into my life. I always warn them. You will see if you try to do something, you'll see it right away. Because I'm trying to help you. I'm guiding you. It's like there's no need. You're not going to get what they told you that you're going to get out of me. Because I emotionally disconnected from feeling any affection. And when I do feel affection, it's very limited to where they won't... I already prepared myself to where I already fit myself. So the affection I give you is just going to... It's like a little warm, fuzzy feeling to want to keep healing. It won't contribute to what you want. And if it does give you something, you really got to share it with the person you got that energy from with. You got to give them back. It's the giving and receiving. These people that offer you stuff like that, of feeding from sexual energy, you really got to take care of the person that's feeding you that energy. You got to remember, they can get access to people like us. They use somebody that's similar to us, that's not awake and that's stuck on stupid, as a tool. Once that person realizes they can no longer obtain what they're obtaining through you, you're worthless. You have no value. Because first of all, the fact that I'm aware is going to trigger your awakening 100 miles per hour. You won't even have the energy or the mindset. That's why people end up going crazy. because they're not prepared for how fast that hits them and all the bad stuff that they've done, all those negative entities, they go after them. People do stupid shit without even realizing who they're attacking. There's people in this world that are not human, and not in a bad way. They're here to protect humanity. Unmortals, I think they call them something. You'll know who they are because they had lost their lives a few times and they come back. They're those people. And they're those people that gone through hell and back, and they always fucking seem to get up and use that experience to create themselves, transform themselves again. And they're humble and they're happy and thankful for what they have. And those people are the ones you're going to see later succeed. Abundance is different for everybody. Abundance might be 20 houses for you. For the next person might be just one and their family. For the other one might be just a husband. A job might be for the other one. Their own little small business making $1,000 a month because that covers my rent. That might be abundance to that person. Well, back in the day when rent was cheap. You know, abundance is different. More money, more problems, remember. Abundance has a different meaning for everybody. And another thing, it's like in tarot, because they do use tarot, spiritual people, when they're ascending and grounding and getting their gifts, they represent coins. Because that's our abundance. Your inherence, that's what it is. Taken because they blocked it from us. We had to work for it and wake up and get it back because we were blocked. It was frozen. They freeze it. They feed off it while we're little. And these people have no idea. I learned that in my first week in my awakening. You know, like, I'm broke as fuck, but I'm fucking learning so much, and I'm growing. I knew, that doesn't represent money. Person that is connected, their head and their heart is connected, they are going to be abundant because the universe is going to provide, because their energy is going to be high. They're going to be grateful. They're going to be, and they glow when they walk. The sun, you shine brighter than the sun. It's like, it's a whole different type of energy and abundance. And that's why we had to take so much care of it. We can't build fear that if we have sex with this, we're done, we're doomed, God's going to punish us. No. That energy is the most powerful one. A lot of you guys think about it. When you were living your life before your awakening, for those who are experiencing, you were making money. You were vibrating high. Because you had no knowledge that giving your energy freely to whoever was not a good thing. Your third eye wasn't letting you see what those people carry. Your gifts from your nose. You weren't smelling what you were dealing with. Then it's like Adam and Eve when they realized they were naked. The guilt, the shame, aging. That's what it is. When you awaken, that's what it is. That's why it takes us so long and we're constantly healing. No, you had to heal and move on. And think of ways, how can I vibrate higher? We're all different. We're humans. We're not here to shame anybody. Some people, especially people that work with that energy, that are very creative, those, and you got to feed what the soul wants. You just got to learn how to do it correctly. What gets you attached to people? Cuddling, kissing, put limits, put boundaries. If you know that's not something that it's gonna, that person's not ready for your energy, but you need a little bit of affection. Like, take care of your energy. Take care of yourself first. Worry about your feelings. Worry about your energy. Because your intentions are all pure. You're going with the best intentions, and that energy is gonna heal whatever that person needs to heal. Get them going on their journey. You're not gonna be able to stay with somebody that's really messed up and broken, especially if you're working so hard on yourself. The universe won't allow it, no matter what. No matter if you beg, and it won't allow it, because it's gonna stop you from waking up. It's gonna stop you from growing. And I hate calling it waking up. It's gonna help you from ascending and growing and mastering your gifts, and having knowledge to share with others. I know this is long. Sorry. Let me know, what do you guys think? I know it's a lot. It's different, but I'm passionate of my experience and what I have learned. And it took me a while to decide to share it, to speak with people. And that's why in Spanish it's harder for me to share all this stuff. Because Latinos, we're raised different, we think different. When I first started my journey, that's why I was pushed to do 5 years with the Latino community. Because I understood the whole energy. I have respect for Santa Muerta, of course. She represents death. We're not supposed to be afraid of death. It represents transformation. But I don't have an altar for her. I don't do anything out of this world, but I have respect for her because of what she represents. And actually, she's a lot of, I'll go into that later. It's a lot of children, especially in the Mexican communities, Latinos, those children gave a sacrifice. Being sacrificed doesn't mean they kill you. There's different ways for that they do stuff like that. But I'll make other videos explaining what I have learned. So she protects you because she saw what your own freaking mother or father did to you. And she's going to walk by you all your life, protecting you. And no, she doesn't want you to go say that you're going to sacrifice your ex-boyfriend or the cat or the chicken. No. And never be asking her to do dirty work like that for you. You don't tell death how to do their job, or who to take or who not. Like, you're not gonna go tell the CEO of a company how to do their job and run their business. It's the same thing. That's her expertise. It's, yes, you can put flowers. Yes, you can, bread, whatever, of course, incense, whatever, connects you with them because you respect them. I have, which I didn't even know, they were from Puerto Rico, and a lot of the santos that I seen them, so I would be able to describe what I'm seeing. I had no idea who they were, what their names were. But with respect, I would tell them, I don't know, because I wasn't raised in that, so I have no, and then my memory sucks. So even if they were to tell me one day where I would figure it out, I would forget the next time. But they felt my love, and they are energy. They understand your energy. You're grateful. You love them because they're there. They come around. Sometimes it's weird at first, but then later you're used to it. And these people that do all this work, I had a Puerto Rican ex. He hated me for that because he had never been able to see them. And why did I get to see them? Why was my connection with them when I'm not even Puerto Rican or have an altar for them or do anything for them? Why? Because he knew they go get readings. They knew what was protecting me. And that was for a while. I don't know if they still come around, but for a while that was something that was protecting me. Which I think it was because of what they were sending my way was heavy. So they switch on depending on what's being said or what I'm working on in my life. When I have to meet somebody that's gonna pass away, that is that they're living their life really evil. They've done a lot of evil, and they haven't made any intent to change. I'll go into their lives and try to shine some light or give them some peace before they go. So I'm able to smell death before it when it presents itself in that area, in that building, or that when they're coming for that person. Mm, it's kind of weird because it does have a kind of weird smell to it. I have never been around when it's somebody that's done good, so I don't know if it's death that's smelling or if it's the person's darkness that's smelling. Um, because it does feel a little dark for a moment, but then it just turns different. Because when I seen her, I don't, and I don't see her like how people. It's the energy. I just feel it. I could just see from the beginning. I make sure I connect it and tell them I don't want to see clearly. I don't want to wake up, grab some water, and bump into something. It's gonna send me into, yeah. Because at first I was seeing a lot, so I told my I want to see enough to have an idea, and so the contract we made was digital. That works for me. So if I see the energy, but I can't see what it is, I'll take a picture and then I can see clearly what it is. The universe works with you. And yes, it hurts when we had to heal all this stuff. And yes, it's really painful. And sometimes I got myself stuck because I don't want to let go. It's hard when it's family, when it's your children, when it's people you never expected. You want to save them. You want to. It's just really hard. You blame yourself a lot of the times. You apologize, over apologize, and then they remind you, don't need to do that. You're human like anybody else. But because it's you and your purpose, they're gonna sacrifice you. But what you did wrong, the next person like them could do it, and they'll treat them like they're perfect. But because of your purpose, it's gonna be something that they'll use to shame you with. So that's why it's important to find people like you and be careful. Learn how to read the energy. That's my biggest advice. Learn how to read people's energy and trust your intuition. Once you read people's energy, it's going to take you a while to accept what you're understanding. But the more you ascend, your soul can't handle it. The disrespect, the mistreatment, the being ignored, the rolling of the eyes, the voices behind your back making fun of you, the looking at each other like crazy, your own children, your own family doing that, it's very painful. They don't like it because you expose the truth, and they done too much already. And a lot of the times, especially when children are involved, it's not the children's fault. It was that narcissist father, mother that took advantage. They use them as a tool against you. It makes them get so deep involved that they feel shame and guilt. If you look them up, they're the lowest vibration we can feel. Yeah, before I forget, something else that came out in the reading, I just remember. Something that happened in a boat that they made a child under 16, boy, that had to do with the puppy. Because I think I saw the small puppy. I don't remember what other word was with it. So there is children involved also that they made him do stuff that was shameful or so this person could have put gas and light up a dog, their little puppy. That could have been done. And that's why a lot of the drinking and loud music going on, they do it while they're partying, fiestas or reunions, because they all practice this. When people that are working with those entities, they consume them completely. Oh, I have so much to say about all that. I lived it. I saw it. I experienced it. Took me a very long time to understand it. I also respect them. Little by little, I'll share more about what I have learned and how. And anything I tell you is not something I made up or I heard it from somebody else. I'm here to share my readings with based on my experience, my story. If something happens to come out and I have no clue what's connected with it, I'll be honest and tell you. And I'll ask you guys' help because that's what we're here to help each other. Not to say, oh, you're wrong. Let me throw the book at you. No. You might have a different learning experience in your journey. And you're more than welcome to leave a comment and share. I do a lot of research because I like to know. Because for some reason it came into my energy because there's something I need to know about it. Because I might end up meeting somebody that I'm going to be able to help them with that new way of learning or that information that was provided. Nobody's right or wrong. It's when I started my journey, I had to learn alone for a very long time because I didn't know what I was even experiencing. I didn't even know what I was going through. I'll share that eventually too, how that, the people that helped me at the beginning, I learned a lot, but at the same time, all right, gotta be careful who you give access to your energy. The great thing was that they let me, they were aware what they did, and they told me and they explained to me not to be letting anybody just read me, because something I think there was never in their intentions to do that, but because of what they saw and how fast it worked for them, we're all human. But and I felt it. I felt her energy right away, like something changed, weird. And I was pulling everything that she worked with into and we're talking from the UK to Arizona. And the hour difference. It was like 3 in the morning over there for her, and it was 3 in the afternoon, and I was seeing stuff that made no sense. I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you so much. Thanks. Let me know if you have any questions, if there is any subjects you guys want me to share a little more about, or any readings that you guys want me to look into. Since we're just starting, I have all the time in the world to kind of work more like one-on-one, but do it, for everybody. So, because eventually somebody's going to resonate with it. So if you have any questions or I don't really like to, because my main focus is your spiritual journey. So I'll do some love readings, of course, but don't ask me if your ex is coming back, because the first thing I'm going to tell you is I'm going to send you information so you can start working on yourself on heal something. Because when we're healed, we start asking when they're coming back. We stop hoping. We actually start, when we hear where they're coming back, we start laughing. Back then we would get excited. Now we just laugh because it's like, he thinks after 2 years I'm gonna yeah. I was listening to one. I never heard this reader either, and I was putting together a bookshelf this right here, and I remember 2 years ago. If I would have heard that, I would have been so excited and so happy, because he got his karma and everything he realized, but he wanted to. What did she say? He wants to make sure that everything's gonna be okay and you'll accept them, and you guys can start off where you left off and grow and work with. I just started laughing because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna, once you heal and you understand, I don't hold any anger or grudge, but I'm not gonna risk, let's play again and see if maybe this time is different. I healed. I don't feel the same. My interest has changed because I have grown so much. I use all that time for myself to grow, to heal. because you gotta remember, the more you ascend, the bigger the lessons, the stronger, the heavier. I'm a Scorpio, so I tend to go deep, deep in, and I went really deep in my journey. I gone super deep. There's information that I have that many people, it's been a few that can kind of relate to it and understand it. This is not just me right here, Tara. My experience is a lot wider. This is just a way to connect with you guys and communicate. It's easier, but and I like these ones. I use it with my spirit guides, my higher self. I'll have a question, I'll ask, and it comes up, it pops up exactly what I need, or I'll find one in the floor. I do recommend something like this for you guys, for you people that are starting and want to start communicating with your guides and stuff. You just put whatever words, random words, whatever, whatever's connecting with you, because there's some stuff in there that made no sense. Some that I put away because I was like, I have no clue how to put it together in a reading. But at some point in my journey, it made sense. At this moment, I couldn't even think of like why, the purpose of it. Like blue pen, like it's like stuff that it's just didn't feel like it belonged there, or names that probably didn't want to see again. I don't really like doing names, or zodiacs either, because I feel like like sometimes you can make people feel like question, am I the bad person? Because it's so, when you go through these different moments, you become very, it's like most of this is by yourself, looking for support. Not everybody has money to go to a place where they can, and it's expensive. Spirituality is expensive. I wouldn't. It's good to learn how to. If you have the money, go for it. But buy a book, learn from there, balance, ground yourself, connect with Mother, connect, get the sun in there in your third eye, and then you'll see a lot of stuff. Figure out a way to communicate. If you're not hearing or understanding letters, I also use the little brick colors. You send the message to them how to communicate with you until you figure out a system that works for you. These are like the best things you can buy. They sell them from all kinds of different, I do regular tarot cards too. I like them, but these are good for stuff like this. You're connecting, they're guiding you. Because they're a part of you. Your ancestors are connected to you. It's really beautiful. You feel alone, and it's okay, and you cry, and you heal some more, and then it gets those sessions get shorter and shorter, and then you like revive and you do something great, and then it might happen again because somebody triggered that wound again, reminded you, made you feel a certain way, brought you back memories. Then you cry again, and then they're there for you. They're lifting you, or something good happens. When things are not going your way, don't take it as rejection. Take it as protection. Maybe you're safer inside your home for a reason. Many of you guys don't understand your gifts, how valuable you are, what kind of source of power energy you are, how much people would pay to keep you locked up in a little dungeon, underground tunnel. It's like you're not aware. Sometimes when we had to move to, you're not even aware what was coming after you. How close you were. This whole stories you hear, the hitmans and all that, it's real. It's all real. Some people, you gotta learn how to read people's energy. you know. If they're not ascending, if their readings are not growing, if they're not giving you information that's feeding your mind, and we've been 5 years on the same development of energy and strategy, and you're not teaching me something new, yeah, I think you need to move from that reader because that person's stuck. They're not healing. If it's the same repetitive situation, we're all ascending different times, but every reader should you should see them growing in a certain way. Doesn't exactly have to be financially, but they cannot be bringing their trauma constantly into your life, your trauma. So it's like if you've been on this journey 5 years and you're hearing the same thing and you still haven't had any answers, so because maybe that's not your story. Or maybe because you're not healing and you're focusing too much on your tarot readings. 111 right now. Okay? So that's important too. It's okay to listen. A lot of people use this as guidance because they don't have a way of connecting with they haven't figured out a style to connect with their guides, and sometimes your guides switch. Sometimes you have a different angel watching over you. See like this bright little red light. So that I don't know if that might mean something to somebody. I don't know if it's coming from this. It's like right there where the flower it kept flickering red. Gave me like it's not like red and blue. Somebody could be getting pulled over. And I'm saying blue because I kept seeing this right here. For many of you guys that resonated with this, sorry. Somebody did something. They tried another ritual. Because the point to get you is they had to get you down to a certain vibration to where you would destroy yourself. So that's what they keep doing these rituals to try. That's why sometimes all of a sudden you will have suicidal thoughts. So you're like, what the fuck? Sorry. I don't know if we can cuss on here. That's what it is. That's why a lot of people sometimes make videos saying, but I'm not suicidal because they know, they're aware that people are playing with their energy, pushing them to do stuff like that. Self-sabotage. Because they can do that to you. Especially if you're one of those that has gone and came back. Trust me, that wasn't the only time probably. Any of you guys have been drug poison? Yeah, you don't remember. There's a lot of stuff that has been done that many of you guys don't even know or remember, but there's like a wound, a feeling. That's why you guys resonate with certain readings and it pulls you and it feels real. But you got to be careful how you're absorbing those messages. Figure out a way to get confirmation if that is part of your story, if that is something that was done to you. Ask for answers. Start working, healing, so those answers. The universe is not gonna. And I gotta cut this short. The universe is not. It's not gonna put you with answers that you're not ready to receive. Because you're so important in your journey and where you're here that some stuff that you could hear can make you unalive somebody in the moment. Especially if it's with children, people you care and love. So until you're ready, until you're really balanced, until you're really, that's when the answers start coming. Then you receive them. Be in the weirdest ways, the confirmations. And I'm not saying confirmations that you'll see a cloud or you'll receive them. No, it's confirmations, paperwork. People tell you themselves and then don't even realize what the fuck came out of their mouth. People telling themselves. Somebody sends you the wrong text message. But because you are so healed, it's just confirmation to know that you were right the whole time. So most likely everything else you were right too. Don't get obsessed with the truth. And remember that inherits that abundance, that money that's left, it could be your gifts. Don't sit there waiting for Prince Charming, Mr. Perfect. Don't stop yourself from living and loving and enjoying a healthy relationship because you're afraid. Because that's what they wanted. They want us to stop living. They want us to settle. No, this world is too rich. If you want to own 50, 100 houses, you have every right to. As long as you do it the right way. Not like a lot of people, you know? There's no limitations of how much we can manifest, of the life we can have. Like I said, more money, more problems. You own 50 businesses, you have to be there for all those 50 businesses. You end up hiring people to do the work for you, they're gonna steal from you if you're not present, handling your own shit. I did accounting for so many years. You see that a lot. You know, if people don't have their accountant and stuff, everything being balanced, other people will take advantage of it in the office. You know, special trips with the business credit card. So it's like, that's what accounting is do. They find the weird shit. So it's like, don't. What makes you happy? What makes you feel peace? You know, because if you're manifesting fame and if that's the mentality you have still, you got to work on yourself more. We're not here to sacrifice ourselves either to save everybody. No. But what can you create to help? What needs attention? You know, what nonprofit you can create that will help prevent, you know, the typical issues that we have. How would you run your rehab different? Because obviously how it's working, it's like a vicious circle. Some people, it's not doing anything because they're not treating the actual wound. You know, like, I seen people, like, people don't even want to touch them or give them any kind of affection or show them any kind of kindness. That's why they withdraw, because nobody shows them that maybe that's all they need. Love, attention, motivation. Somebody that gives them, that supports them and tells them, okay, we'll meet up every Monday and we'll work on your business plan. You know, hope, faith, hope. Doesn't mean faith by having the Bible and remind them how ashamed God is of them. No. People are humans. They need love. They need attention. We're connected to our mother's womb for 9 months. You know, it's normal for us to crave that and want that. Get it from the dog sometimes, but come on, we lie to ourselves and we tell ourselves that because that's what we're living, and we just want to make us feel better. But you can't continue to lie to yourself, because your life is gonna go like that, and you're never gonna have that what you really wanted, because you lied to yourself because you were afraid to get hurt again. Yes, it's a risk. It's not gonna be the same, hopefully, because hopefully you learned from the last time and you could see the red flags right away. You might take it a little slower, or you might move a little faster. My dogs are snoring. Not loud. It's we learn from every lesson, every situation. Yes, some stuff is really painful and it's really harsh, but it just makes you stronger, and it's all up to you how long you let it fucking break you. And then you gotta remind yourself, like, how fucking amazing you are if people go out of their way to fucking wound you that bad. Because the last time was you overcame that. So now they had to do it extra fucking fucked up for you. Like, that's how fucking amazing and special you are. That's how important you are to this moment in time, to this journey. And that's why it's so important for you to heal yourself so you can start helping others. And when you're in that moment when you start and you need a moment to pull back, it's okay to pull back. We're not competing, we're not here to be perfect. We're here to help each other out and share what we have learned. And it's not, we're all not going to agree with each other at all. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get the fact that I mentioned about the whole God thing. But years ago, I would never be able to say something like that because I felt embarrassed of what people would think. Now, I don't care. And no, you're not going to come and convince me to join your cult, Jehovah's Witnesses or Mormons. No. I think that's all that knocks on your door. No, because I'm not interested. Because, with all my respect, I already gone to their church when I was young, when I was finding myself. So I already paid my dues. Now I have my own mind and my way of what makes me comfortable and happy and peaceful. Because I'm not scared of my God, my dad. Because I made him in my image that I want him. Because I don't want to fear him. I don't want to feel shame of what I've done. Because my dad's cool. He knows that, I had my wild teens. And he allowed me to express myself and be myself and experiment. And to this day, he reminds me every day that even though the results of the situation, how things turn out with my children, I was not a bad mother. I was a badass mom. Young mom. 5 kids. Always had a roof over their head. Always had them nice, dressed nice. But what I learned with that, and I can share with others, that material stuff is not important. Because of me working and wanting to give them the best life and the best, taking them out to eat it constantly and making sure the fridge was full and not getting assistance because I didn't want to live like my mom, So even though I was struggling and I could probably get a little help, but no, I don't want to be like that. And I let go of my Section 8 housing like a year after I got it. Because, okay, I finished school, so now we're talking about I finished high school. Because I didn't want to live like that because my mother had lived from housing all her life. And I wanted different. I wanted to have goals and motivate my children to have goals, and something I was never motivated. Now I think about it, I'm like, shit, I should have just kept it. It would have saved me a lot of money. I wouldn't have struggled so much. But my ego was too big. My pride was too big. I was ashamed of where I came from, which I shouldn't have been. If my parents, I don't even think she went to high school. They did the best they could. They weren't perfect, but they did the best they could with what they thought. They were maybe the parents they wish they would have had. It's never perfect. There's always better than the next person sometimes. There's always somebody that has it worse than we did. And we're not here to compete who had it worse, because everybody's pain feels different to everybody. I think I'm going to cut this in like a couple sessions so you guys don't get all bored with me. I really enjoy talking to you guys, and it helps me express myself a little deeper. So whoever resonated with all this, whatever was spoken today, because most of the time I don't try not to repeat myself. I let spirit just guide me, and I do that same thing with people I hang out and talk to, and I warn them. I talk too much sometimes because I'm channeling as I'm going, and at the same time I have to separate what I can tell them and cannot tell them yet. But it starts giving me information about who they are. I don't pull random people, especially people from the past. They're not allowed to have access to me. So most of the time it's answers for stuff that needs to be answered, for stuff that's coming up. A lot of this is going to be way bigger than Because the same way I'm working on this, there's other people, and there is people that watch these videos that are law enforcement, monitor all this, and they confirm a lot of stuff. It's, you know, we're always being watched. It's like some of us just have that extra knowledge or way of connecting. Well, I'm gonna say goodbye because I feel like I'm done for tonight. But thank you so much, everybody. And please let me know what information you want, what type of reading. If you're going through something that you maybe want a little bit of clarity. Like I said, I won't do too much the love readings. I will post them when I am guided to do some love readings. But I won't answer any. If you send me a message like that, I won't answer you. Because obviously you need healing. So look for healing videos. And when you're ready, you're just gonna bump into one of the videos of love. I'll explain more. I'll make videos explaining why and why it's important. The sooner you understand, the sooner you're done with healing that department, and the sooner your person will come. And I can guarantee you 100% it's not going to be the person you thought you wanted. And many times that person had been in your life and your energy for a long time and you don't even know. Because they're here to protect you too. They're here, they're part of it. Their energy does something to your energy. And you get tired too. Sometimes they're not even aware that their energy is protecting you. Their energy can prevent from other people that are trying to harm you for whatever relationship, contact, whatever you're getting from them at the moment, that you get it from somebody that was actually trying to come in that same position to hurt you. And they might have access to people that are more out there that they can have information more of. And a lot of it, you might channel it from them. They bring it to you. They don't understand what they're doing because they're not ready. Because they have to go through a process because they have healing also. A lot of the times, it's a friend. It's been there. That it will surprise many of you sometimes. And it doesn't mean that you'll stay with that person. Because you guys we have willpower to decide how far we can take this. I can wake up tomorrow and be like, you know what? Never mind. I think I'm going to go to church and I'm going to join the cult. And I don't want to do this no more because it's too much work. The universe is not going to be mad. It's like, okay, well, when you die, we'll see you again next year. I don't know if they give you a year in between. I don't know. It's just, it's the same thing. And it is hard work. And that's why I tell people, take your time with it. There's no rush. Getting answers, no rush. That's why don't go chasing that whole, as soon as I get the answers, I'll be able to get my monies. No, a lot of the times it's not money. Your inheritance is your gifts because you inherit that from your ancestors. It's not money. The money that people are getting is the life insurance scams that they're doing by getting rid of people. So your gifts are so important because if you are balanced and you get your gifts, your abundance, your fucking intuition's on point. Your guys are putting like the answers in front of you. You see? You see? So guess look, your ex made up lies. Now he's quiet, and now they found some bodies. And it goes a little. I think that was already there. You see? Your guys are gonna give you this stuff like that. At first, it's not gonna make sense because you gotta connect with them. It doesn't mean go fucking sacrifice a chicken or anything like that. No, connect with them by allowing them in your space, by asking them for help. They like to hear that we need help. I'm very stubborn. I had like the hardest time doing that because I always been Miss Independent, and they really had to sit me down. That's why when I don't have money coming in, or that's the only way they can keep me to listen. Because I start, okay, I know I gotta balance my energy, because if not, I'm not gonna be able to, I'm very well aware how my energy works already. So I had to like sit back, because they're trying to talk to me, but I'm not listening. Or I have questions and they're trying to give me the answers, but I'm not listening. Or they're showing me and I'm not understanding, because I'm not putting the right attention, the right focus on it. And that can happen a lot with connections that we have with people. That's why we had to stop from the healing. If you've been healing for 5 years, it's too much. You need to pull and take a break and give it a chance. Try. Do something wild and crazy. It's not going to be the end of the world for you. Do something different. Get out of that energy. Give your energy a shift. Bring in a new energy that's going to stir you around a little bit. It's important. Because then you'll get messages and you'll be surprised. Because you'll be like, oh no, I wouldn't do that again. And that you'll be surprised the messages you get. And it's not, and they'll give you confirmation that it's not just you being delulu, how they say, like lying to yourself. No, they'll give you confirmation, because you're going to be so balanced and stable that you can't get fooled, or nobody's going to come and talk good game on you, because no, you're ahead of the game. You'll know and understand what they're trying. Somebody was taken from a mall, and this might come on the news. It's going to happen. Something with somebody's voice. And I'm getting that like right now. Wrongdoing. This could be somebody's wife. Somebody planned, and I think this is gonna come out on. Oh no, somebody. This could be a group of girls that's. They planned their death, but I think they sold them to like a sex ring for money. And this is a group of girls, some young girls. Educate your daughters not to trust everybody. Yeah, this girl's, the ex was involved with it. You guys may see it in the news or something, or this might resonate. After this happens, whoever this is with, they're gonna call and let you know what connection your ex had with this. One of the girls is gonna speak up, and the FBI is gonna get involved. Okay, I gotta stop because I'm channeling and it's too late for this shit. And it's associated with the colds. November might be significant. No what? No regret? Oh, are now in regret. Okay, so somebody's gonna, an organization is now in regret for something that they've done to you or something. This is separate. That's why it was taking me so long. But this right here is something that's I felt it really, really fresh. So it's either it's gonna come out soon on the news, or somehow be careful with. If you have young daughters, I don't know why I'm here. Educate them. Not everybody's your friend. Careful with the exes. It doesn't matter if they're 13 years old. Start teaching them all this stuff. Okay, well, everybody have a good night. Bye bye.